On this 31st Sunday of Ordinary Time, year A 2023, a story is told of a happily married couple who lived without children for over 30 years in a certain village. Whenever visitors came or strangers passed by, more often than not, the woman would offer them a cup of tea and even something to bite on their way. Because of this extraordinary generosity, many people knew the woman as one of the kindest, humblest, and loving and caring women in this village. It was a talk of the village everywhere about the wife to this man, even though many people were not happy with the husband to this woman. The husband rarely conversed for long with the people who passed by beyond greetings because the wife was too social, and therefore once she heard a voice of a visitor or a stranger, she could come out with full speed to speak kindly to the visitors and offer them something to drink or something to carry and eat on their way back. As years advanced, they got old and a husband died of heart attack suddenly. Of course, the wife was frustrated due to sudden death of her husband. On the other hand, because it was well known that this woman was very generous and kind, people mourned the death of his husband. But again, they thanked God that the kindest person who offers them something is still alive. At least they felt consoled. When funeral and burial was over, some strangers passing by their home noticed a great silence. No greeting, no joy, and no sign of previous welcoming. One of the strangers stopped by and went in the family to ask, "How is everything?" The woman said that everything is not okay. Why? Because the husband had died suddenly. This time round, the wife, as usual, very jovial and talkative, she did not offer the visitors something to drink nor something to carry along their way. Those who visited her started asking themselves, what could have happened this time round and yet morning is over? They said that it could be because of her husband who died and she is missing her. Or it could be because she spent a lot of money during the funeral of her husband. Therefore, some people organized a fundraising to help her by giving her some money, but the practical generosity that she had disappeared completely. In fact, when people passed by, they received only greetings, smiles, and bye-bye words. One day, a very courageous person asked her, "Why are you not giving anything to the visitors or strangers who pass by your home, and yet we have contributed some money for you?" She answered, "When my husband was alive, he was the one that used to buy things to be given to visitors and strangers. Now that he is not alive, I don't know what to do." That is how it came into the mind of the people how important, how practical, and how generous the husband to this woman was when he was alive. He was doing good actions and speaking less, but the wife was speaking much and doing less. The gospel passage today reminds us to do much to others and speak less. To bring this story into the context, the scribes and the Pharisees imposed heavy burdens on their people, but to them, they did nothing to accomplish what they had asked people to do. Simply, they were preaching what they can't do and doing what they can't preach. On this 31st Sunday of Ordinary Time, Year A, what can we learn from this liturgical text? 1. The relationship between leaders and their subjects. Nowadays, there is a strange relationship between some leaders and their subjects due to the authority formulating laws that are a burden to the subjects. Laws are to be formulated based on the natural law, that is, for the good of man. For example, a country that formulates laws to accept homosexuality or lesbianism, marriage, among its citizens, and yet the leaders themselves, are married with their wives and children. Don't we see that it is just a burden to the society and to the citizens for nothing? Everything in this world, there is an official way of doing something, and there is an official way of doing the same thing. Let us follow the official way of doing things that is based on natural law and according to the will of God. Imagine if we had Sodom and Gomorrah way of life today. Would we have you and me today? Because no procreation would have taken place. Those who practice homosexuality and lesbianism can be helped kindly to come back to the right path of getting married as a woman and as a man. The second thing that we can learn today is to be humble. The person who accepts the truth is humble. The truth about himself, the truth about his or her limitations, the truth of saying what he means and doing what he says. We need humble people in our families. We need humble people in our religious communities. We need humble people as our leaders today. A humble father in the family accepts his mistakes and not defends himself. A humble mother accepts his husband and children not to wish them death or curse them or regret why she got married to such an caring husband and having problematic children. My free advice would be, if problems and more challenges persist in the family, seek family counseling to save your marriage. A misbehaving child outside is only a symptom of a rotten family. Finally, genuineness. One of the qualities of a person is to be genuine. First, with oneself, and second, to be genuine in what you do in relation to others. For example, I asked a mechanic to repair a car, and he said yes, he can. But at the end of it all, he did not succeed. At times, a desire for something can make you sleep in the bush, says African proverb. In fact, the mechanic was not genuine with himself on what he can do as pertains mechanical work. Let us be genuine in what we say and genuine in what we do. To conclude, on this 31st Sunday of Ordinary Time, Year A 2023, we are invited to make ourselves be exalted by the grace of God. Amen. Have a blessed Sunday.